You're watching Republic.
You're watching the Monday edition of This is the Exclusive with me, Shah Vincent. Tonight on This is the Exclusive, I get you exclusive visuals of what's really happening in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir after Operation Synindhur. How they've been completely destabilized, and the fact that this 20-second video that we're going to put out in a short while from now tells you the real story of the impact Operation Synindhur has had in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. Not just this, also a special ground report coming in from Israel. In-depth, incisive coverage by Republic's senior executive editor Abhishek Kapoor. All this and much more on this edition. But up first, let me take you through the headlines we're tracking at this hour. It's the biggest clincher on Operation Synindhur. 20-second clip of Jaish camp in ruins that no other channel has.
Why did you not appear before the court during trial? Did you work to serve political agenda? Did you plant evidence to frame innocent? Mr. Parambir Singh, here is the Mr. Parambir Singh, and he is not responding any answer of my question.
He can duck, he can dodge, but he cannot escape our questions. Parambir Singh goes completely silent. Republic confronts him on Sadhvi Pragya's allegations. Details of Colonel Purohit's 2015 letter to NHRC access letter outlines how Parambir Singh unleashed torture, humiliation during the Maligaon trial. As the second anniversary of the 7th of October Hamas attack nears, Benjamin Netanyahu faces mounting pressure on hostage crisis. Republic's Abhishek Kapoor reports live from Israel. Ladies and gentlemen, last week the Parliament saw a heated debate on Operation Synindhur, India's most successful, intense military exercise, India's revenge for the Pahalgam terror attack, India's message to Pakistan. A lot has been said about the execution of Operation Synindhur, and the one thing that our forces and the government have maintained is that the operation ensured 100% precision success in targeting Pakistan's terror dens as well as air bases. Tonight on This is Exclusive, we bring you the proof put forward by the forces themselves. And tonight we have more clincher proof that not one jihadi den of Pakistan could escape the military might of India, as India obliterated a critical Jaish-e-Mohammed terror base, reducing the Bilal terror camp and its surrounding terror hub to rubble. Exclusive, never seen before images reveal the camp in complete ruins. What we're going to play out right now is a 20-second clincher not seen before. Never seen images of the Jaish camp. Can we just put that out? It's the Jaish camp that is now on your screens. It's known as Bilal Masjid in Muzaffarnagar, Bilal Masjid as the Jaish-e-Mohammed puts it. On your screens right now, this den, which was visited by the second in command, that is Ilyas Kashmiri, has now been completely razed to the ground. And this on your screens are never seen before images shortly after the attack. In fact, we are given to understand that soon after the attack, that was the precision strikes that were carried out, this is what really happened to this particular camp. In fact, specific coordinates are also in possession of Republic TV. We have actually double-checked the video. We have also looked at the coordinates of this particular camp, which was also part of what the intelligence agencies have been looking at. The fact of the matter is this, on your screens right now, Bilal Masjid in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir is considered to be a key terror camp run by the Jaish-e-Mohammed. In fact, it was operational till about 7th of May, and several Jaish-e-Mohammed's leadership was visiting this particular so-called masjid, but which happens to be a terror camp. In fact, proper training was being provided to those who were going through multiple phases of training. And more details that we have right now on your screens. These are images, 20-second images that we have basically accessed. It turns out that they haven't been able to carry out the construction in that area. Now, there are more details that we are essentially picking up. This was a key operational base at Bilal Masjid in Muzaffarabad. In fact, it was led by Ilyas Kashmiri. This critical terror den was used to plan elite commando missions that were targeting India. Exclusive visuals reveal the extent of the destruction that was caused after this precision strike that was carried out by the Indian Armed Forces on 7th of May. We'll try and also go across to my colleague Gursimran, getting us the latest details. In fact, this base was essentially used to carry out several attacks on the Indian soil. In fact, this was essentially seen as a training camp. We'll go back to the visuals, full screen, the visuals of the Jaish camp that has been razed to the ground on your screens right now, while I'm going to take you through the details of why this is significant. And this is never seen before images of this key terror camp that was destroyed on 7th of May, and it turns out 50 days later, it still remains in complete ruins. Joining us on this broadcast is also my colleague Gursimran, getting us the latest details. Gursimran, we are going full frame right now with the visuals that have been accessed by Republic TV. I'll go back to the visuals completely, full frame of the visuals, Gursimran, while we'll help our viewers understand why this is critical, number one. Number two, this was carried out on 7th of May is what we are given to understand. And 50 days later, it still remains in complete ruins. First to you, with regards to who were the Jaish terrorists who had visited this particular camp, and why is this camp important?
See, Shravan, this is actually the testimony of India's precision strikes that have taken place deep inside the Pakistan territory. And this was one of the locations where Indian forces have hit on the evening of 7th of May. This is Bilal Masjid in the Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Now, important to mention that this was one of the key bases of the Jaish-e-Mohammed that was hit, and that was operational before 6th of May 2025. What we have picked up from the sources that it was not only Ilyas Kashmiri, but also the Qari Jarrad, who happens to be the head of the Jammu operations of Jaish-e-Mohammed, who used to visit this very place, and their recent visit was in the month of April, before India carried out Operation Synindhur, and the precision strikes were carried out. Now these videos, what we are being told, were taken some 50 days post this attack. The things were still intact. There was no construction that was being done. And also, one more thing, this proves that the Indian strikes were so precision, so at the target, that the nearby areas, they have almost remain untouched. This was only a 50 by 50 damage that the Indian strikes have done to the base of Jaish-e-Mohammed that was there in the Bilal Masjid. Apart from this, we are being told that the highly trained SSG commandos, for them this was their last transit camp before being launched into Jammu and Kashmir. It was 3 hours distance from the line of control before they sneak in into the territory, and there was a plan to actually push more terrorists into the Indian territory in the coming month. It was planned for the next month, but before it could actually go on ground, there was precision strikes by the Indian side that decimated this Bilal Masjid, which is still destroyed, and Pakistan dare not to construct this.
Well, in fact, I'm going to stay with these visuals while I'm going to take you through more details coming in. Gursimran, stay with me. Number one, it was headed by Ilyas Kashmiri. That's the deputy, if I may say so, of Jaish chief. He used to directly report to the Jaish chief. He's used this for planning several of the attacks, and it was known as the Jaish's commando missions against India. It also housed several of the splinter groups for task briefings as well as launches. It is not very far away from one of the terror launch pads, is what we are given to understand. It's also seen as one of the critical terror dens for coordinating terror operations across border. Now, in fact, this was part of the precision strike that was carried out on 7th of May. In Gursimran, just to walk our viewers through the details of where exactly is this terror camp and how far is it from the terror launch pad? Because as I understand, this was largely used as a training facility of the Jaish-e-Mohammed. In fact, thereafter, the movement of the terrorists would essentially take place at the terror launch pads, not very far away from the line of control. Any more details with regards to the exact coordinates? We'll try and explain this to our viewers because we also have the specific coordinates of this particular camp. We're going to put this out in a short while from now. As Gursimran tries and explains this, we're going to put on air right now. Before we go to our third breaking right now, I'm going to just put out details of the coordinates that have been accessed by Republic TV. While we do that, Gursimran, just walk us through the exact location. How far is it from the terror launch pad? And third, from the line of control itself.
See, Chavan, what we have been told by our sources that this very place is somewhere 3 hours by foot distance from the line of control. And this was the last transit point. We are told that here the groups that used to reach here, these were the small groups. Some 10 to 12 people used to be here, and then they were further split into groups, sent into the forward locations to sneak in into the Indian territory. This all was done, see, when a group leaves this transit place and then to the line of control, it was not more than a game of 24 hours. Reason being that here not only the training was taking place, but also the radicalization, because senior leadership of Jaish-e-Mohammed used to visit this very place. So their motive was to radicalize the cadre that have been sent here. The cadre that has been sent here, it was not the normal cadre that they have been recruited and sent across to the Indian side, but they are highly trained cadres, the details of which we have also accessed. And then after, from this transit point, which is one of the one of the key operational points of the Jaish-e-Mohammed, they were sent to the forward bases that were somewhere 2.5 hours distance, so that they can reach some location close to the line of control, because at the line of control it is not only the Jaish, but it is Jaish plus the Pakistan regulars that have always been controlling the Jaish Lashkar plus Pakistan army that has always been controlling the line of control, because Pakistani army has always been hand in glove with these terror groups to give these terror groups a push so that they can sneak in into the Indian territory. And at times it has happened that the Pakistan given cover fire so that these terrorists can safely enter the Indian territory and carry out bloodshed, Shavan.
Gursimran, I'll request you to stay on with us as we have got more details of what basically unfolded at the Jaish terror camp on 7th of May. We have exactly got details of the strikes that were carried out in Muzaffarabad, which killed about 7 terrorists, which basically included SSG commandos. These SSG commandos were also part of the training facility. They are trained operatives which poised for a mid-May mission to India. The precision operation targeted a 50 by 50 foot area. The splinter group was set to launch attacks, was completely neutralized, halting their plans. And in fact, no civilian casualties were essentially reported, with the devastation confined solely to Jaish's infrastructure. So we have got full details of what they were essentially planning and why exactly India basically chose to neutralize this particular camp. That was because several of them were being trained to carry out a mission sometime in the month of May. In fact, it turns out 7 happened to be from the SSG, and they were part of a splinter group that was essentially being trained at this particular camp itself. And that is the reason why this precision strike was basically carried out. We'll stay with these visuals as well as the details that we have now accessed. And not just that, we've also accessed the exact coordinate of this particular terror camp in Muzaffarabad that has been raised to the ground. Now, bringing my colleague back, Gursimran, getting us the details right now. Gursimran, it turns out that there was intelligence input about a mid-May mission to be carried out by the SSG, which is part of the splinter group that was being trained. Any further details that we are getting in right now as to what exactly is this splinter group and how exactly were they operating?
Sishavan, since this was Jaish and it was sending SSG group, it was for a long haul in Jammu and Kashmir, because in the past also what we have seen in last 3 to 4 years, that the Jaish is sending its highly trained cadre to Jammu and Kashmir. That group goes into hiding, they remain for long, they study the area and then they carry out attacks. See, India had 21 targets or total, and out of that they carried out the 9 attacks at the 9 targets. Why Bilal Masjid was one of the targets among those 21? Reason being the presence of the highly trained SSG commandos that were there, because these commandos were trained and they were being sent to carry out more and more terror attacks that can be detrimental for the security, because these attacks were not to be carried out in the line of control or close to the international border, but these were the hinterland attacks that these groups were carrying out, like they have carried out in the past. We have seen in the Machedi area, in the upper reaches of the Doda district, the Chatru area of Kishtwar, that the hinterland they are trying to activate. That first they will silently sneak in inside the territory, then they will find their shelter in the upper reaches with the help of their previous cadres that have successfully infiltrated. And those were the inputs that the security agencies had, that this group, that roughly 10 to 12 terrorists, highly trained SSG terrorists, if they manage to sneak in inside the Indian territory, they are going to be detrimental.
Dr. S.P. Vaid, the former Jammu and Kashmir DGP, is joining us on this broadcast. Mr. Vaid, Republic TV has now accessed my colleague Gursimran, getting us the latest details of a terror camp in Muzaffarabad that was razed to the ground. In fact, it turns out that this particular group, this particular splinter group was planning to carry out an attack in the month of May. It has this entire operation has obliterated all the plans that Jaish had, and also the fact that 50 days later there's not much construction that's taking place in the area.
See, I think we have averted a major tragedy. These people were planning for a major attack, and by obliterating this terror camp, we have averted a major tragedy. And I think Operation Synindhur, that's why it was those who question what have we achieved, apart from hundreds of terrorists who were killed, we were able to avert major tragedies like this. Now, many things are coming out. So I think that's why Operation Synindhur was a great success. How 9 terror camps were all obliterated from the face of the earth, and also many terrorist top commanders were eliminated. You saw some of their funerals. You saw how the air bases, 9 of them were made virtually defunct. Even today, you see their satellite imagery, how it, many of them are inoperational. And Asim Munir, I think he announced 1,000 crore package for all the repair of all these terror camps and also these air bases.
Well, Dr. S.P. Vaid, thank you very much for joining us on this broadcast, getting us the latest details. My colleague Gursimran, as 22nd evidence that we have got. In fact, it clearly goes on to indicate that they have essentially been completely obliterated. Ladies and gentlemen, on 7th of October 2023, the world watched in horror as Hamas launched a brutal, unprecedented attack on Israel, killing over 1,200 people, wounding thousands, shattering countless lives in a single day. Among the atrocities, 251 men, women and children were abducted, dragged into the depths of Gaza, where they faced unimaginable conditions in Hamas underground tunnels. As we near the 2nd anniversary, the anguish persists. 50 hostages remain unaccounted for. Many fear dead. A partial ceasefire in January 2025 did actually bring some hope, securing the release of some captives, but for the families still waiting, the uncertainty is a daily torment. Republic, the only channel to have reached ground zero, providing a first-hand perspective on what the situation essentially looks like now. Our first report from this evening is from Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, a focal point for those awaiting their loved ones' return.
This is another corner of the Hostage Square in Tel Aviv, and in this corner you can see stuff picked up from the two kibbutz that were attacked by the Hamas terrorists on that fateful day in October 7. So if you look at this picture, a piano, and this must have been at somebody's home, and then stuff like a table lamp, flower pots, and this says, "You are not alone." Basically, all these hostages who are still there in the captivity of Hamas. Look at that watch, which has the number of days, hours, minutes and seconds that have lapsed since the time that those hostages were taken, and they are not yet back. So all this, the prayers that keep happening, the protests that happen more so on Saturdays, the tunnel experience here, this stuff picked up from many of those homes that were attacked. Look at that car. This is actually this is a car which was attacked, an entire family killed in this car, and this is the state it was found in, and it has been brought from the kibbutz and kept here, just as a reminder of the brutality of the attack that was carried out by Hamas. This is a place which is replete with the memorabilia, with the emotions. We saw those that prayer session taking place, and just to give you an idea of the kind of involvement that's there of the people, and the messaging that's there. So, for example, this is let's go inside. This is just to give a feel to the people and to make them understand the dire situation that the hostages live as we speak. And this is one example of that, which is that the hostages are being kept inside tunnels, obviously, by Hamas in the Gaza Strip, so that they can evade and avoid security, Israeli defense forces pulling them out. Now, just to get you a feel, so we are getting inside this model of a tunnel that has been created here at Hostage Square. This is almost like an exact replica of what Hamas has created by way of that network of tunnels, in which they are keeping from where they are operating, and in fact also keeping the hostages. Look at these sounds. This is like to give you an idea of what must be going on in the minds of the hostages, that they are here inside and the war is going on outside. They don't know whether some missile or rocket can fall on them, whether the Israeli forces, because they are trying to search them, and in doing so, when they are taking out these tunnels, and there have been some instances where some of the hostages have been taken down, unfortunately, in Israeli operations also. So it's a difficult situation. And in fact, we are told that the actual tunnels of Hamas are even smaller than this, and it's difficult to navigate. We had seen in one of those tunnels Ismail Haniyeh, the Hamas leader, carrying a couple of hostages with him, and using them as a shield, a human shield. So that's the situation, and this Hostage Square has created this tunnel, and everybody, of course, here hopes that someday there would be light at the end of the tunnel for the remaining hostages, 50 hostages that are there in captivity of Hamas.
Well, that's all that we could pack in this edition of This Is Exclusive. I'll be back tomorrow at the same time with more exclusive stories. Coming up, Trending with my colleague Akanksha.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाइ क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरी राजा
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
इसको घर पे लगाओगे तो शादी का तो पता नहीं, पर घर पक्का नहीं टूटेगा।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
पहाड़ों में एक हाइकिंग शिप भी बन सकती है।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Sports isn't just about medals and podiums. It is about heartbreak, challenges, and discipline. It is also about leaders choosing sport to empower the community to live longer and healthier. I congratulate my friend Arnab and R4 Sports for championing these untold stories that we all need to hear and learn from. Here's wishing R4 Sports all the best.
Mujawar has been a part of the ATS team that investigated this Malegaon case, and what he has to say today is explosive. He's breaking the silence. Mahmood Mujawar ji, thank you. शुक्रिया हमारे साथ बातचीत करने के लिए. First of all, आपको ये फैसला आज सुन के क्या लगा? Do you think justice has finally been done in the case, Mujawar ji?
बहुत अच्छा लगा सर, कहीं तो न्याय हो गया, और ये न्याय मिलाने के लिए जो आपने जद्दोजहद की।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ, डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड में मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला। MDH
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद ये ही तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है। अरे मेरी राजा
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
The Indian economy has been the fastest growing G20 economy for 8 of the last 11 years. And those are the only 8 in the last 77 years, during which India has been the largest, has been the fastest growing economy among the G20. So during the years that Rahul Gandhi's family ruled India,
matches Rahul's anti-army claims on China. Supreme Court tears into Rahul's lies. Rahul Gandhi fact-checked by Supreme Court, debating tonight at 9 p.m.
From your smartphones to smart televisions, trending stories are breaking the internet, and tonight, Sanjay Kapoor's death mystery has deepened as his mother has now sought probe amid the full-blown family feud over rupees 30,000 crore business empire. And next, India has pulled off a stunner at the Oval today, silencing England to clinch a 6-run win in the fifth and final test of the Sanatan Dharma Trophy. And up next, Tamil star Dhanush has criticized the AI-edited ending of his film Ranjana's Tamil version. We'll tell you exactly what he said. And then in Israel, more than 600 retired security officials, including former heads of intelligence agency, have sought US President Donald Trump's intervention to pressure their own government to stop the war between Iran and Israel. Now, but as far as Donald Trump is concerned, he's facing backlash, and this time over the distasteful remark about his own press secretary. And not just this, he also made a bizarre statement related to Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle ad campaign that has caught the public eye. This is trending. I'm Akanksha Khajuria. Let's get started. Karishma Kapoor's ex-mother-in-law, Rani Kapoor, has alleged foul play in her son Sanjay Kapoor's death. Rani Kapoor has written to UK authorities for probing the death of Sanjay Kapoor. The letter has detailed information about her son's assets. She has said that he had ties across the United Kingdom, USA, Singapore, Germany and India as well, and that he was a high net worth individual. She also added that death may not have been natural or accidental but involves a foul play. She further states that she has come across dubious asset transfer, suspicious legal filings and indication of coercion as far as his death is concerned. And amid this controversy, Sanjay Kapoor's stepdaughter has dropped her surname following her mother Priya Sachdev. With Rani Kapoor now registering a formal complaint in this case, all eyes are now on the unfolding mystery behind Sanjay Kapoor's death. Now shifting our focus, Mohammad Siraj picked up 5 wickets to help India to a famous 6-run win at Oval on Monday. In addition to Prasidh Krishna chipped in with 4 wickets, and the 5th test match ended with India winning 6 runs, levelling the series 2-2. In their own home ground, England was bundled out by India's speedster Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna, who bagged 9 wickets amongst themselves, and Siraj emerged as the leading wicket taker with 5 wickets in his bag. Listen in to what he had to say.
रेट करूंगा क्योंकि जैसे हम लोग ने फर्स्ट डे से लेके अभी तक 5th सीरीज और 5th डे मतलब जैसा फाइट किया हम लोग ने एक बिलीवेबल फाइट ईच एंड एवरी वन ड्रेसिंग रूम एंड बिलीव इतना था ये ड्रेसिंग रूम में हर किसी के ऊपर बिलीव था कि हम लोग यहाँ से कर दें क्योंकि यंगस्टर है हर कोई है मतलब हर किसी का बिलीव ऐसा था कि हम लोग यहाँ से मैच जीतेंगे और जैसे आपने बोला हरी ब्रुक का कैच बट लॉर्ड्स में भी अनफॉर्चुनेटली वो आउट मतलब मेरे साथ ही क्यों ऊपर वाला है बट या मतलब ऊपर वाले ने भी कुछ अच्छा लिखा था होगा मेरे लिए इसीलिए आज मुझे ये मुकाम पे और विकेट भी दिया लास्ट विकेट तो बहुत ही अच्छा लगा.
And meanwhile, Shubman Gill has bagged Man of the Series title, sharing a heartfelt message on social media. In fact, this is what he had to say. Listen in.
Each 100 that I scored had a very different significance, if I can say. The one in Leeds was my first match. I was under a bit of pressure, not being able to perform, especially in this format, how I wanted to. So that 100 would always be special for me. And then the double 100 and the 100 in Birmingham, to be able to seal that match was also special. and the one in Manchester, to be able to save that game from there. Each of them has a story, and each of them means a lot to me, like all the moments that we have had. So it's difficult to just pick one, because it's been I think we have played there were 25 days of cricket, and we have played 25 days of cricket. So just to be able to pick one moment, it's very hard.
The atmosphere inside the stadium was absolutely electrifying. Actor Hans Shetty posted on social media a story of his father, Sunil Shetty, pretty much summing up the experience there. Watch this. And needless to say, ladies and gentlemen, the air was crackling with excitement. Listen in to what some of the fans had to say.
I want to say, my mum's Punjabi and my dad's English, so for me it was a win-win. That's some of the best Test cricket ever. It was well worth the 5th day.
I'd just like to say it's been an absolutely fantastic series. I think 2-2 is a very fair result. All credit to India. Don't know who's going to get man of the series. I think Mo Siraj definitely. He's just been absolutely great. I think there's nice to see a bit of spice, but also I think it's been played very well between them. So all credit to India. Well done, England. Looking forward to the next one. Thank you.
5 दिन से लगातार मैच नीचे ऊपर हो रहा था. कल भी पता नहीं था कि मैच किस मोड़ पर जाएगा, लेकिन आज की जो जीत है ये आने वाले दिनों के इंडियन क्रिकेट टीम के लिए बहुत बड़ी खुशी कारगर साबित होगी, और मैं मुबारकबाद देता हूं.
I'm joined by sports journalist Gulu Ezekiel. Thanks so much for speaking to Republic TV. What a sensational nail-biter of a match it was. Tell us, what was your first reaction?
Well, I can honestly tell you that I've been following cricket for the last 55 years. And goodness knows how many tests and test series. But this test series, I can honestly say with my hand on my heart, it is the finest test series I've ever witnessed, not only by India, but by any other country. Each and every test match went down to the wire. Each and every test match went down to the 5th day. Of course, this test match would have finished yesterday if not for the weather. But to win by 6 runs, to get 4 wickets in the morning session was a sensational performance by the Indian team. And I think full credit to Captain Shubman Gill. Let's remember, this was his maiden test series as a captain. And particularly this morning, his field placings were immaculate. He kept his cool right through. And it would have been just one boundary hit, just one 6 hit by the last batsman, and India would have lost the test. So tremendous finish to a tremendous test series. And both teams deserve credit for making this series one of the finest performances seen on a cricket field in the last many, many years.
Absolutely, sir. And as you also mentioned about Shubman Gill, the focus was on him. He bagged player of the series title as well. What, according to you, led him to achieve this?
You know, Gill is a very talented young man, and he's always been a wonderful batsman. But he has shown here in English conditions, which are very challenging for a player from outside England, particularly for the batsman. He has shown that with his 700 plus runs, that he is a world-class batsman. And the fact that at his age and in his first series as captain, he has pulled back the series 2-2 after we were 2-1 down after 3 test matches. It's a great credit to Gill, and I feel that Indian cricket is in very good hands with Shubman Gill.
Absolutely, sir. And this is not the usual test team like previous years. Young guns in the lineup with biggies like Rohit and Virat hanging up their test boots. Do you think this is the team?
Yeah, you know, it's not only Virat and Rohit Sharma. Let's also remember that Ravichandran Ashwin also retired just earlier this year. So India without 3 of their stalwarts. And despite that, a team which is relatively young and many of them are untested in English conditions. The performance has been exemplary, and full credit to the entire team. Of course, our pace bowlers were outstanding. Our batsmen also, we had 3 batsmen topping 500 runs. In this test match, we played without Bumrah and we played without Pant. And to come back and win this test by such a narrow margin just by 6 runs shows that the players were able to keep their cool in a very stressful situation. And it's a wonderful day for Indian Test cricket and for Test cricket overall. Test cricket, a lot of cricket followers have been saying that Test cricket is dying. I think that's nonsense. This has shown that Test cricket is alive and well, and it's the finest format of all the 3 formats.
Absolutely. It's a wonderful day for Team India. Thank you so much, Mr. Gulu Ezekiel, for speaking to Republic TV. Now we're shifting our focus. A technology that once served as the search engine has now transcended its original purpose, raising concerns about the limit of artificial intelligence in the creative decision-making. In a recent incident, an AI system demonstrated its ability to not only provide answers to the question, but also alter the ending of movies considered cult classics. And ladies and gentlemen, we are talking about the crowd favorite movie Ranjana. Actor Dhanush criticized the unauthorized AI-altered re-release of the film and said that the new ending removed the soul of the film and that it was released despite his objections, highlighting the grave concern regarding the artificial intelligence usage. And Dhanush has also taken to social media to criticize this claim. In fact, he went on to say, and I quote, "This was not the film that he agreed 12 years ago." Now, as you can see in the morphed ending of this movie, the main ending dialogue of Dhanush, which was summarized his feeling for Zoya, was changed to a happy ending. This re-release happy ending sparked backlash among the film industry, slamming how AI can ruin the plot, and concerns were raised about the ethics of using AI to alter the creative work. The altered happy ending of the movie sparked mixed reaction on social media, while a user said that it was a creative freedom of expression, which is a universal right. Another fan, in fact, had opposing views, calling this, saying that AI cannot replace everything, especially human emotions. Now shifting our focus, more than 600 retired Israeli security officials, including former heads of intelligence agency, have urged US President Donald Trump to pressure their own government. Now, almost 3 years since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war, there has been growing pressure on the Netanyahu government to secure a truce deal for the release of the hostages. 41 people, including 8 workers, have been killed in the ongoing war. Gaza is spiraling into irreversible humanitarian collapse, with no food and essential items being given to them. In fact, a footage issued by the terror groups of Israeli captives held in Gaza's tunnel showed David turned into skeleton and digging his own grave, fearing his former hostage. Hot off the plate and straight to your television screens, these are the top trending stories of the day. Let's watch them. A student unveiled Talk to Write, an AI-powered marvel that converts speech into actual handwritten notes at the Expo 2025. The system listens to your voice and converts the audio into text using speech recognition, along with physically writing it out.
Department of Electronics.
And in a historic moment, the sacred relics of Lord Buddha have returned to India after 127 years. And the relics were taken abroad during the colonial period and recently resurfaced in an international auction. The relic, in fact, included bone fragments, crystal caskets, gold ornaments, and ritual offerings. They were originally discovered in 1898 in Uttar Pradesh. 100 crore Lamborghini belonging to Bengaluru influencer Sanjeev has caught fire on City Street last evening. Video footage that you can see on the screen shows flames near the engine at the rear that went viral on social media. Bystanders, they used water, sand and fire extinguisher to douse the blaze, but thankfully no injuries were reported. Miami hotels are embracing a new way of welcoming guests with a virtual front desk where check-ins are handled remotely from India. Now, instead of walking up to a traditional counter, the guests are connecting with the live agent beamed in through high-tech kiosks or digital screens. Now, the guests are receiving assistance as if the receptionists were right there in the lobby.
Okay.
We need 1 room key or 2 room key?
2, just in case I lose one.
Yes, I'll just make this for you. Just help me with your signature, what it says guest signature. Let me just process your room registration form.
Please wait while we process your registration form. Please note that we have a strict policy of no smoking, no pets and no visitors allowed.
A man in Rajasthan was caught on CCTV camera praying inside a temple moment just before stealing. The entire incident that you can see on the screen was recorded by the surveillance camera. US fighter jets have intercepted a civilian aircraft after it violated the temporary flight restriction over President Donald Trump's Bedminster Golf Club. The jet used flares to alert the pilot that escorted the plane out safely from that zone, and this was one of the 5 such incidents over the last one weekend as violations have risen since Donald Trump's second term has started. A rare winter storm has swept across eastern Australia, blanketing towns and even golf courses in thick snow. Footage from New South Wales on your screens, it shows heavy rainfall and snowfall covering the landscape. Some areas also saw their deepest snow in the last 20 years. Australians are saying that it was a historic winter whiteout. A volcano in Russia erupted overnight for the first time in 600 years, and scientists are in fact stating that it may be connected to the huge earthquake that rocked Russia's far east area last week. And this eruption of the volcano has been assigned an orange aviation code indicating a heightened risk to the aircraft. And during the third T20 match between Pakistan and West Indies in Florida, an airplane was seen flying over the stadium carrying a banner that read, "Resign Asim Munir." And this banner referred to Pakistan's army chief, and this has in fact sparked strong reactions online. Now look at this clip that is going viral on social media that shows a young man that has reached near a lion eating its prey to click pictures. This video is said to be from the village in Talaja, and there on the screen you can see this man going near the lion while he's eating his prey. Prime Minister PM Modi consoled Jharkhand Chief Minister Hemant Soren at the Ganga Ram Hospital after his father, former Chief Minister Shibu Soren's demise. Hemant Soren was seen breaking down as Prime Minister paid tribute and hugged him. Donald Trump and controversy now go hand in hand, and this time Donald Trump's way of praising White House press secretary has left the internet stunned and bears questioning and backlashing his so-called morals. And whereas Donald Trump went extreme while praising the White House press secretary, he commented on her face, her lips, and during a recent interview, the US president referred to her as a star and highlighted her appearance and speech. But ladies and gentlemen, let me assure you, to call his comments sexist is an understatement. Listen in.
She's become a star. It's that face, it's that brain, it's those lips, the way they move like she's a machine gun. Is she in the room?
She's in the room.
She's a
These words of praises, which in hindsight is anything but professional. He says that he has never ever had a better press secretary than Caroline. Listen in.
person actually, but she's, I don't think anybody has ever had a better press secretary than Caroline. She's been amazing.
The internet clearly has gone berserk. There's a massive outrage, and for all the right reasons. The sentiment is the same throughout, with users calling him a pervert. And Donald Trump has made it to the news yet again, and not for his controversial remark this time or bizarre statement, but this time for Sydney Sweeney's American Eagle jeans ad that has caught the public eye. Listen in to what he had to say. These remarks have sparked debate on two different reasons. One being an ad campaign that promotes eugenics, a discredited scientific theory popular among white supremacists. Now, the other being the uproar from a society hell-bent on sexualizing women. After the uproar of this controversy, the reporter was also seen telling Donald Trump that the Euphoria star happens to be a Republican, and it delighted Donald Trump couldn't, in fact, hide his happiness after hearing that. Take a look.
She's a registered Republican? Oh, now I love her ad. Is that right? Is Sydney Sweeney? You'd be surprised at how many people are Republicans. That's what I wouldn't have known, but I'm glad you told me that. If Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, I think her ad is fantastic. Okay.
And after the controversial remark on eugenics and pro-white supremacy, a user took to Instagram slamming the ad campaign and asking for a justification of the correlation between the genes and the eye color. In fact, another user slammed the post while questioning how genes are passed down from parents to the offspring. And ladies and gentlemen, the backlash continues to grow on BCCI regarding the India-Pakistan match controversy. BCCI still chooses to maintain silence. In fact, there's a massive question that everybody is asking. Is a sport more important than the national interest? Has BCCI forgotten the Pahalgam terror attack? Republic Nationalist Collective has now spoken out. Watch this as a big goodbye.
I'm from army fraternity. My husband, my grandparents, everybody is in army. So my message to BCCI is that BCCI should strictly prohibit and ban any matches with Pakistan. We should not forget the Pahalgam incidents which has just happened. Neither today nor ever after. We should always remember this. And one suggestion to BCCI. BCCI should also have one member at least from the army fraternity. Maybe then they will realize the pain of losing your dear and near ones.
India should not play any cricket match with Pakistan, especially after the Pahalgam attack by Pakistani supported terrorists in which 27 Hindus were killed. There is no need of playing any cricket match with Pakistan. After the Operation Synindhur, all the trade with Pakistan was banned by Indian government. Even the postal services were banned. And after that, the flow of water of Sindhu river was also stopped. Then why cricket is above than everything? So there is no need of playing any cricket with Pakistan. The self-respect of a country is main. Nation first. This feeling should be there. The BCCI and the sponsors of the cricket match, they want to earn a lot of money at the cost of Indian state prestige. So this is not good at all. So all the matches must be cancelled.
I'm from army fraternity. My husband, my grandparents, everybody is in army. So my message to BCCI is that BCCI should strictly prohibit and ban any matches with Pakistan. We should not forget the Pahalgam incidents which has just happened. Neither today nor ever after. We should always remember this. And one suggestion to BCCI. BCCI should also have one member at least from the army fraternity. Maybe then they will realize the pain of losing your dear and your ones.
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
ये है सीक्रेट रेसिपी MDH का जीरा सिप जल जीरा मसाला। सिप सिप जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप जीरा सिप MDH का जल जीरा सिप।
भारत की अपनी दुकान इंडिया सोना,
अपने देश का सामान इंडिया सोना, इंडिया सोना,
इंडिया सोना। आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
What are you trying to hide? Why did you not appear before the court during trial? Did you work to serve political agenda? Did you plant evidence to frame innocent? Mr. Parambir Singh, here is the Mr. Parambir Singh and he is not responding any answer of my question.
Parambir Singh goes completely silent as Republic confronts him on the allegations that have been levelled by Sadhvi Pragya. Supreme Court questions Rahul Gandhi over comment on army, says if you are Indian, you wouldn't make such comments. A day after NCP-SCP leader Jitendra Avadh says Sanatan has ruined India, Kamal Hassan makes anti-Sanatan comment. And we're also going to be giving you details of Sanjay Kapoor death mystery that's deepened. His mother Rani Kapoor writes to UK authorities for probing the death.
पैसा लगाना है तो सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम पे लगाओ। डूबेगा नहीं, जलेगा भी नहीं, कोई खा नहीं जाएगा, धोखा नहीं देगा, ऊपर नीचे भी नहीं होगा, सेफ रहेगा, सिक्योर्ड, मिनिमम 30 साल का रिटर्न देगा। अब इससे बेटर इन्वेस्टमेंट है तो बताओ। सेंचुरी प्लाई क्लब प्राइम, रहो बेफिक्र।
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
वाओ मामा क्या स्वाद है।
अरे मेरे राजा,
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे। केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल बोलो जुबान केसरी।
कुछ तो सस्ता लो,
सब बढ़िया लो,
इसमें क्या खास बात है?
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, यही तो है इसकी खास बात।
अब छोलिया हो या लोबिया, सफेद चने या काले चने,
सब कुछ मजेदार बने।
Sarah, this is your space, play it your way.
The Indian economy has been the fastest growing G20 economy for 8 of the last 11 years. And those are the only 8 in the last 77 years, during which India has been the largest, has been the fastest growing economy among the G20. So during the years that Rahul Gandhi's family ruled India.
Kamal Hassan's anti-Sanatan remark triggers outrage. Political assault on Sanatan draws fury. Sanatan Dharma under attack again, debating tonight at 8 p.m. Supreme Court torches Rahul's anti-army claims on China. Supreme Court tears into Rahul's lies. Rahul Gandhi fact-checked by Supreme Court, debating tonight at 9 p.m.
The war ends if the hostages come back, and the hostages can come back if the war ends.
So yes, that's the formula, and it has been the formula from day one. The current situation, Hamas doesn't seem to be prepared to release all the hostages, and the Israeli government doesn't seem to be disposed to end the war. So the simple formula remains simple, but its realization is difficult.
The hostages are being kept inside tunnels, obviously, by Hamas in the Gaza Strip. This is almost like an exact replica of what Hamas has created by way of that network of tunnels. And in fact, we are told that the actual tunnels of Hamas are even smaller than this.
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on The Debate. Arnab Goswami on The Debate.
On the show tonight, the classic indie playbook of slandering Sanatan Dharma to stay relevant. But can these leaders like Jitendra Awad get away with this anymore? At 8:30 p.m. tonight, more visual clinchers on Operation Synindhur, the 20-second clip of a Jaish camp in ruins that no other network in the country has. And once again, fact-checked by the Supreme Court, ladies and gentlemen, over his continuous false statements. Tonight at 9 o'clock, I'll tell you why Rahul Gandhi's policy is to lie 1,000 times to make it a truth. But first, ladies and gentlemen, how easily people slander Hinduism, how easily people slander Sanatan Dharma. Jitendra Awad calls Sanatan Dharma Vikruti. He says, and he's from the NCP, Sharad Pawar's party, not surprisingly. He says Sanatan Dharma has ruined India. He calls it a so-called Sanatan Dharma. He said Sanatan Dharma was against Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj. He says he's a follower of the Hindu Dharma, but not a follower of the Sanatan Dharma. In fact, in English translation, what he has said sounds worse. Ladies and gentlemen, would Jitendra Awad have used this language about any other religion? Not that I want him to. Not that I want him to, but would he have used such language about any other religion is a question we must ask, collectively ask. Kamal Hassan in Chennai says, education should be used to target Sanatan Dharma. So he makes education an antidote to Hinduism. For Sanatan Dharma is Hinduism. Hinduism, Hindutva, Hindu, Sanatan Dharma, all one and the same. There is no point in people like Kamal Hassan trying to draw a wedge between either when they don't have the depth to understand it. He says education is the only weapon that can break the chains of dictatorship and Sanatan. So he makes Sanatan Dharma, Hinduism, an equivalent of an immoral dictatorship. Would he say that about the ISIS philosophy? No, he won't speak about the ISIS philosophy. He won't even speak about jihadi philosophy. He won't speak about the PFI philosophy. He will not speak about the Simi philosophy. He will not call the jihadi philosophy regressive. He will not even speak about the Taliban. If Sanatan is regressive, Kamal Hassan, is Taliban progressive? Are jihadis progressive? Is the ISIS philosophy progressive? And what is this about the kind of instances Jitendra Awad puts up? And you know, to everyone, including fellow Hindus, how many times have you been in a situation where someone points at you and says, do you support Godse? You are a believer in Godse's point of view, they say. And I would say to all Hindus, do not ever be on the back foot if someone throws that unfair question at you. Ask them in turn, what made you try to stigmatize my religion by faking and falsifying Godse as its ambassador, which he is not? If you have the ability, the courage, the depth, the interest, then go back into 4, 5 or more thousand years of history to understand the true spirit of Sanatan Dharma. But I am not using Osama to put anyone on the back foot. I am not using Jarnail Singh Bhindranwale to put anyone on the back foot. So ladies and gentlemen, this irrational behavior where you cross the line has to stop. I know Hindus are patient, Hindus are progressive, and Hindus are rational, and Hindus are by nature non-violent. But Jitendra Awad and Kamal Hassan have crossed the line, which is why in a short and sharp debate, I will tear them apart intellectually this evening. Ladies and gentlemen, let's debate.
The anti-Sanatan lobby has struck again. A group of leaders who survive and thrive on spreading hate against a religion.
सनातन धर्माने भारताचं वाटोळं केलं. सनातन धर्म नावाचा धर्मच नव्हता. आम्ही हिंदू धर्माला मानणारे आहोत. ज्या सनातन धर्माने आमच्या शिवरायांना राज्याभिषेक नाकारला, ज्या सनातन धर्मियांनी आम्हाला आमच्या छत्रपती संभाजींना बदनाम करून टाकलं, त्यामुळे सनातन धर्म आणि हे सनातनी विकृत आहेत हे म्हणायला कोणीच घाबरलं नाही पाहिजे.
Sanatan Dharma has ruined India. Sanatan Dharma and its ideology are perverted. These are the words of a politician who has zero regrets.
I never knew there is a religion called as Sanatan Dharma. I believe I am a Hindu, a staunch Hindu. Because Hindu Dharma accepts everything that is logical. And please don't try to teach me of Hinduism.
When confronted on his divisive, shameful comments, he blocks and pushes the Republic mic.
सर सनातन पे जो आपने बयान दिया, क्या उसमें माफी मांगेंगे? सर माफी मांगेंगे? नहीं हम पूछ रहे हैं.
And he is not the only leader. Kamal Hassan is calling for the removal of Sanatan. He says education is a weapon against Sanatan Dharma.
தன்னை பிள்ளைகளுக்கு கல்வி கிடைக்காமல் செய்து விட்டது இந்த சட்டம். அகரம் நினைச்சா ஒண்ணும் விட முடியாது. அந்த சட்டத்தை மாற்றி எழுதக்கூடிய பலத்தை தருவது கல்விதான். அந்த கல்வி இந்த போரில் ஆயுதமின்றி நாட்டையே செதுக்க வல்லது. இது சர்வாதிகார சங்கிலிகளை, சனாதன சங்கிலிகளை எல்லாம் நொறுக்கி தள்ளக்கூடிய ஒரே ஆயுதம் இதுதான். இதை தவிர வேற எதையும் கையில் எடுக்காதீங்க.
The Hindu hate is being called out.
सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः
इस बात को लेकर के वसुधैव कुटुंबकम मानने वाला यह सनातन धर्म है। इन धर्म में मानव सेवा सर्वोपरि कही गई है। क्या आपने इसका अध्ययन नहीं किया? कौन से विकृत शास्त्र का अध्ययन करके अब श्रावण मास में साधु संतों का करोड़ों करोड़ों उपवास तप करने वाले हिंदुओं की भावनाओं को आहत कर रहे हो?
He is uttering words which all will make DMK chief and the DMK functionaries happy. For that he want to insult the sentiments of the people who are following the Sanatan Dharma.
कांग्रेस की कोख में से जन्मे सभी राजनीतिक और राजनेता दल या राजनेता ये सारे के सारे अभी बौखलाए हुए हैं। लेकिन मैं एक बात स्पष्ट कर दूं, ये सनातन है, हिंदू है, हिंदुत्व है, भगवा है, ये उस हाथी की तरह है जो मदमस्त होकर चलता है, धर्म के मार्ग पर चलता है, सात्विक शक्तियों के साथ चलता है और पीछे भौंकने वाले भौंकते रहते हैं।
For political reasons, for appeasement or for vote bank, Sanatan and Hindus have become a soft target for these politicians. But for how long?
Shaina NC of the Shiv Sena and Shantanu Gupta, who's an author and an RSS voice tonight, are on the debate with Abdul Razak and Pula Rao. Now, Pula Rao, Kamal Hassan first. Kamal Hassan says that we must counter Sanatan Dharma with education. He says we must counter Sanatan Dharma with education. Sanatan Dharma or Hinduism, we must counter Hinduism with education. Which means Hinduism, if anyone follows it, that person is uneducated. And you need education to take away the taint of Hinduism. Now, hypothetical situation. What if someone were to say, what if Shantanu Gupta were to say that you need to be educated to be able to counter Islam? What if he were to say, hypothetically, that you need to be educated to counter the teachings of Islam? He would be sartan se juda by now. But you can say anything about Hinduism in this country. Anything. Shantanu, you have a free run to abuse Hinduism in this country, any which way, any style you use. What if he were to say that in a public gathering, he were to say, listen, you must be educated and use education to counter the dictatorship of Islam? What would the response be?
Should I start or?
Yes.
Well, I'm really, really surprised you're enunciating a new doctrine. There is freedom here. You can talk. You can talk. Kamal Hassan, all he said was, get education. Education, once you're educated, he believes that it will counter Sanatan or whatever ideas. But it may also go the other way around. Education is not something that can be controlled. Are you telling me that in this vast country, you can't have more than one opinion?
No, you can, but you're not answering my question. I'm saying by the same logic, Pula Rao, by the same logic, let 1,000 flowers bloom would be the argument. If you so love the argument of Kamal Hassan and you feel he's in a democratic country exercising his democratic right, then does Shantanu Gupta or does Shaina NC have the right to say that you must use education to counter Islam and Islam is a dictatorship?
You see, you can counter anything which is against the Constitution.
What would the response be?
You can
don't stumble. Now answer the question now. Come on. You're hunting for words.
You can counter anything. You can counter You can educate people if an ideology.
So why doesn't he say, Abdul Razak, one minute, Abdul Razak, why does Kamal Hassan not say, you must use education to counter the jihadi thinking? Why not?
The reply, Arnab. You yourself gave the reply. If he says, he knows what will be the consequence. So let us not delve into it.
No, 1 minute. If he says he knows what will be the consequence. 1 minute. Just 1 minute. No, Razak, wait there. He says, Shaina, that if he were to use similar language about Islam, he knows what would be the consequence. Did you see these words?
And,
if
look at the audacity of the man. No, 1 minute. Let me quote exactly what he said. He said, only a weapon capable of dismantling the shackles of dictatorship and Sanatan is education. I want to ask, is this the same Kamal Hassan who opposed the NEET in 2017? And look at the audacity of Jitendra Awad. He has said Sanatan Dharma is the perverted ideology distinct from Hindu Dharma and has been responsible for caste oppression and social exclusion. Arnab, how many of us have read history to know what actually Sanatan Dharma is? And he goes on, these urban Naxals like Jitendra Awad and Kamal Hassan, and I say with absolute responsibility, both are urban Naxals. He says that, denying Chhatrapati Shivaji Maharaj his coronation and defaming Chhatrapati Sambhaji Maharaj and opposing social reformers like Jyotiba Phule, that is what Sanatan Dharma is. Now, how perverted is this ideology of his? I think that we need to unequivocally condemn, because in a country like ours, what are we demanding? We are demanding that if you hurt the sentiments of Hindus, you must just apologize. This is the culture and heritage of our country, and those who speak against it are insulting.
The irony here,
vote bank politics, and you play this social
the irony here
was because you are nothing but an Naxalite, an urban Naxalite.
So the question goes again. You have called Hindus and Hinduism all kinds of names. You've called it dengue, malaria, AIDS, cockroaches, termites, everything. Every possible abuse has been used against Hinduism.
Like saffron terror also.
Yeah, but now it is being said that if you want to counter the dictatorship and Hinduism and a Hindu dictatorship and Hindu religion and Sanatan, which is a dictatorship, the only way out is education, which means you must educate yourself. What if that is told to someone who is studying in a madrasa? Okay, Atik, if someone learning in a madrasa is told.
Why are you trying to make this Hindu-Muslim?
I am not making it Hindu-Muslim. I am saying that when someone abuses Hindu, it is freedom of expression for you. But even if I were to suggest that what would happen if similar language were to be used against any other religion, you find it offensive.
That somebody should abuse Muslims?
No.
This has nothing to do.
Atik.
There is absolutely nothing to do with
the question being, and let me bring Shantanu here. Kamal Hassan is the biggest hypocrite in Tamil Nadu and in the country, and I'll explain why. He does a movie called Dashavataram. Can I have the poster, please? Where to promote his movie, Shantanu, and to make money, he portrays himself as a devout Hindu with a tilak and everything. He uses the Hindu mythology of Dash Avatar, to make a movie. And he draws from it because he knows there are devout Hindus not only in Tamil Nadu but across the country who will watch the movie if he portrays it like this. And then he comes out and says, we must collectively educate ourselves to fight and end Sanatan Dharma. But he will use Sanatan Dharma to make money, to do a marketing campaign. He will act, he will open his eyes in a big way, he will wear big necklaces, he will behave like a devout Hindu going to the temple through morning, evening and night. Can I have the picture, please? That is what I call an unadulterated and shameless, absolute hypocrite. And then he goes wearing a black shirt on a stage and he says, we must educate ourselves to finish Sanatan Dharma. What are you doing? You made a movie. Look at this movie.